In my last video, there was comments that said that I lacked imagination, that I'm a bad storyteller, and that fantasy races don't ruin tone. And they're right about one thing. Fantasy races don't ruin the tone of your game. Overuse does. I read through most, if not all, of the comments from the last video, and there are some good points. People brought up things like Watership Down, which I have not indulged in, The Dark Crystal, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, and The Secret of Nim, also one of my favorite movies. And these are all great examples, one of my favorite being The Dark Crystal, the first time in cinema that humans were not in a single frame. Those worlds prove something really important. You can absolutely have a grounded, emotional story without any humans. In fact, when you look at a movie like Dark Crystal or the role-playing game, or a game like Mouse Ritter, you have something really special. You get to hyper-focus on a singular race. Gelflings for the Dark Crystal and mice for Mouse Ritter. There are a few on the outside, but the protagonists are typically those races. And it really grounds the story, which leads to basically this third option that I didn't talk about. And I'm sorry about that because it is very viable. And there were many, many awesome comments and support for a human-centric game. So if you can have a emotional and grounded game with no humans, then what exactly was my point? It's not about what exists in your world, it's how often it exists. And like I said in the last video, when everything is strange, especially those playable races, then nothing will be. And that's the very point that many people skipped over. This isn't about destroying fantasy. On the contrary, it's about protecting it. Scarcity creates weight, and rarity creates curiosity and even fear in some instances. Look, your fun is not wrong if you want to play with all the furry races. Really, seriously, play what you want, but the people that I'm speaking to are the ones that maybe want a little bit more, or they feel that something is missing in their games. That's what this video and the last one is all about. Helping dungeon masters find the grounding that they didn't know that they were seeking. Because at one point, I didn't know either. One person commented, "Humans are boring." No, surface level humans are boring. If the only thing making player characters special is whether they have scales or feathers, then you might be missing something. I mean, really, if you remove those little quirks, then what are you left with? They're just playing a human with horns or scales or a tail. So I think the humans are boring comment is not about humans, it's about depth. Let me show you what I mean. Let's take a look at a character I rolled up in the human condition. Let me read what I rolled up here. I grew up in a shrine village to a forgotten god. At home, I learned to never steal from the dead. I have a tendency to laugh at the worst times. A core belief of mine is survival justifies any heinous act. The thing I fear is dying alone. Faith and spirituality. The gods are distant and aloof. I adventure to avoid the thing that is chasing me. The most important person in my life is someone I betrayed. I am kind, but deeply selfish. The times I act without thinking are when someone lies to me. When people see me for the first time, they notice my hood that I hardly ever take off. Boring? Maybe for some, But for some of you, it's exactly what you've been looking for. Not horns, not tails, not scales, just a really solid foundation. And that's why I made the human condition. This isn't about forcing human-only games. Play what you want. But the goal for this is simple: to create human characters that have a solid foundation without reverting to what they look like. Because when you do that, something really cool happens. When a humanoid shows up that is strange and unusual, they are strange and unusual. So if you want wild, high fantasy, tons of different species, and big colorful worlds, that's awesome. Seriously, I can't say it any more clearly than that. But if you've ever felt like your world starts to blur together, like nothing really stands out anymore, try removing the noise. And if you want to make a human character that's something more than Gary the first level fighter from Butthole City, then that's what I made this for. I'll link it below. Help support the channel by getting yourself a copy at DriveThruRPG. Those that are part of my Patreon that are the Red Hen tier or above, get it for free on Patreon. As well, if you sign up as a Patreon member, I'll send you out one of these Agranak cult patches for the Red Hen tier or above. All right, everyone, thanks for stopping by Agranak Studios today, and we'll see you on the next one. Later!